Hello everyone, it's Red with RedDragonLeo.com, and today is Wednesday, the 4th, May the 4th, and we are coming up on our anniversary for the flash crash from last year, and it's looking eerily similar to what happened last year. Maybe not exactly, but it has all the makings right now of a flash crash happening either tomorrow or Friday or Monday. I had to look at this a little closer right here, but I believe if you draw a line here to here, I believe this is a little bit lower, this peak as to this peak. They're awful close. So that could be the negative divergence that I was looking for, that I said I thought that this would come down and then go back up. But right now this thing is turning over very, very quickly, a lot quicker than I thought it would. I thought that we would have a little bounce today, and I did think we would close negative, but I just thought that we would have had maybe an ABC move up today, and then some type of bottoming tail, maybe like this or something, but we didn't. We went pretty much steadily down most of the day, and a little bit of a rise until the close. But this daily chart is certainly not supporting any move up right now. It is, in fact, it's putting downward pressure. It's rolling over here on both the slow stochastics and the full stochastics, and rolling over here. It does not have a bearish cross yet, but it has all the makings of a move down here below the zero level, which would cause this to cross. So we could have had our negative divergence right here as the market went and put in a new top, and this, although it is resting right here and on the breakout level of the inverse head and shoulders, if it breaks down below there, it would be a failed inverse head and shoulders pattern, and it would not go up to the fake print anytime soon. Be a few months from now. What I was originally thinking, that we would go down here and just form a channel and maybe stop right here, and that's what everybody else I believe is seeing too. Is you draw a line across here, we go back here, it does a back test, and then it continues back on in a bullish trend. Well, that would be great if we had some kind of confirmation that it was looking bullish, but right now it's not. This is still pointing down. Everything is still saying bearish, bearish, bearish. Look here, this is bearish. The ADX line here has not even curled up to give strength yet to whichever one is on top. And I think it's going to curl up here soon, and it's going to be this negative DI line. I think we're going to really come down here quite a bit over the next few days. Very well could easily come down to 1320 and hit this 50-day moving average. I don't know if they're going to take it further than that, but if it's a flash crash, then it could go down to 1300 or even 1280. Area as well. So it is definitely looking very bearish. It is basically short the bounces right now. There's no reason to get long anything more than a one-day swing trade for a bounce. So I think we're going to bounce tomorrow, but I think that's going to be it. Looking at the weekly, still, you look at the weekly and it looks like it's wanting to curl back up and go positive. Maybe it will, but right now the daily has got control, and the daily says we're going down a little further. Here on the weekly, we got 1309 for the weekly 20-day moving average. Is that possible we could run down there and hit it? Yeah, we could. We could. Now, I'm not calling for that, but if we have a flash crash, then yes, that's very possible. You look at the let's see here. I want to look at the VIX. The VIX is moving up, and it is getting close right here to the Bollinger Band, but a breakout of that is expected. It should break out, pierce through that, and I think we'll get that probably tomorrow or Friday. I think we'll bust out of it. It depends on what we do tomorrow. I think it's going to happen tomorrow. I really do. And the IWM, the Russell, just wanted to go over that. It is finding lots of support right here. If it busts through this, you can bet that the rest of the market is going to go down as well. This is a major trend line right here, and it is hit it 1, well, 2, 3, 4 times. This is the third time that it's hit it recently. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Will the third time hold, or will it bust through? Now, the SPY isn't quite there yet, or the SPX or the Dow, but the Russell is kind of leading it, and this is a telltale sign that the market's looking ready to break down. So if it doesn't significantly bounce tomorrow hard, if it just goes up as I expect it to do, and then roll over, I think it's going to pierce this, and when it pierces this, it's going to go down in some type of wave 3 or wave C, and possibly a possible flash crash. You know, it could go down here easily to fill this gap right here. But once this trend line breaks, I think it's going to be the same thing for the rest of the overall market, the SPX, and I think that we'll easily go down here to this 1320, this gap window. If we break that, then of course we're going to go lower down to 1290, 1294. There's 1284. It's hard to say on a flash crash, but here's what you want to look at to get short, and just let it ride down as far as it goes and kind of look for the support on the way. But one of the things I was noticing is how fast the 60-minute chart here is moving up on the histogram bars. It is a very steep incline right here. This leads me to believe that it is going to get overbought very quickly. That it'll go up here, put in a small, very small tower, maybe like this, and if it gets that high, maybe even just go to 0 and then turn and roll back down. Since the daily chart is now pointing down, it does now support a move down on these MACD histograms all the way down to -10. It did it the last time here, and it should do it this time as well if the daily continues to roll over. So you will kind of just look at this particular chart, the 60-minute chart, to see where the market's going to bottom. So we could get up here maybe to 50 tomorrow morning in the first half of the day, and then roll back down. This should start to want to curl up, but then fail and continue back down. So it kind of you can kind of see how it did it here. Wanted to curl up, failed, wanted to curl up, failed, and it finally worked its way down. So at this point, with that daily rolling over, putting a lot of pressure on the market, I am looking for this MACD moving averages here, the red and black line. I'm looking for those to bottom out between -7.5 and -10 is where I would look for a long position and to exit all shorts. But as far as the histogram towers, I would expect them to go up tomorrow and not to get very far above this 0 mark and to roll over. And I don't think they're going to get very far at all. The 30-minute chart has already, it moved up very steeply, very quickly, and when it did that, it is already working its way up here. It should go a little higher, of course, with the 60, but I don't think it's going to get very high either. It is down here at -5.0, but you would expect it to run up a little bit tomorrow, and then to turn and go back down, and go back down here to probably this -7.5 if the 60 does the same thing between the 7.5 and the 10. very similar to what you see over here in this area where it went down. Curl went back up as the histogram towers went up, and it got overbought, and it probably timed right out perfectly with the 60, and then had another move down. That's what I'm looking to see tomorrow. And then into Friday, we'll see how far it goes. But I think we're going to get a flush out move. It could be a flash crash. I don't know. It just, they did that before, and just flashed it out and then turned and come right back up. So they might hold support this time, but right now it's looking very bearish. So we're looking for a move down to probably at least this 1320. That's gap window. That is support from this rising trend line here. At that point, you might expect a bounce, and then you just have to see where this is at, and where the 60-minute chart is at. If the 60-minute chart's all the way down here at -10, then you'd probably be looking for it to have a significant bounce. But if not, then there's still more downside to come. That means this trend line should break. So if it doesn't make it to -10 on the 60, the bounce up from this could and should fail and cause it to come right back down again, and then that would be a really, really big move. We'll just have to see tomorrow. Basically, if you're not already short, you'll be looking to get short on any rally attempt up tomorrow to a point that's going to get this 60-minute overbought. The 15-minute is probably going to come up here, put in a negative divergence, probably. I'm just guessing, and then roll over. Or it could it might not put in a negative divergence, might even go higher. And the reason I say that is because you see where it's at right here, still below zero, but it went all the way down here to -3 or something like that, -3.5. I think this could push up into positive territory a little bit. I don't think it's going to go above 2.5 positive. But I think it's going to go a little bit positive and then roll over. So if that's the case, then it probably will put in a negative divergence there as it rolls over. But that would basically be, this move up is like some type of A wave that I thought we'd have today, but I think we're going to have it tomorrow now. A, B, C. And so A, B, C. And then down. And how high it goes, I don't know tomorrow. You just got to look at the charts and see. But as to when to get short and when I got to roll over. The 5-minute chart is looking like it's going to curl up. It came from pretty deep here, -2, worked its way up. Now it's rolling back down. We should expect it to go back up again as this move goes up. And the histogram tower to roll up on it, of course, and to put in a negative divergence again, and for it to roll over. So when this 5-minute chart, I'd say for the first hour or two is what I would look for, the rally to fizzle out, and then the selling to roll over. It shouldn't be too long before we go up here and roll over. So possibly here on this 5-minute chart, the 200 moving average right here is at 1153 headed down. So, that might be some resistance there as well. If it gets through that, then it could go on up here to hit this and retest this double top. But I wouldn't be counting on that. It might not go that far. We just have to see. I'm just going to be looking at the charts to see. But I think a good short entry for a big move down is coming tomorrow morning. And there's also the other issues that I thought was the timing of the release of Bin Laden dying or being killed. But the truth of the matter is, if you actually go and look on let's see, Seeker 401 site, you'll see that he was actually dead in 2001. And they've had him on ice since then. There is evidence pointing to him being dead in maybe 2002, 2001. He was dead. He had kidney problems and was on a dialysis machine. And supposedly when we bombed him over there, it killed all the people. He didn't have access to a hospital or something. So anyway, he died from not having proper medical treatment, so he died in his sleep or something. So this is an interesting story here that I'll link here on the blog, but it clearly tells you Bin Laden's been dead, or Tim Osman, I should say. Tim Osman is his real name. He's been dead since roughly 2001, 2002. Different stories saying different things, but bottom line there, he was a CIA operative, trained in the 70s, supported by the United States cabal, Bush, Clinton, all the gangsters, supported by them against Russia. He was heading up, I guess, the coalition, or not, the rebel forces, I should say, in Afghanistan when Russia was invading Afghanistan. So anyway, they supported him, and now all of a sudden he's their enemy, you know. So bottom line, the guy's dead. He's been dead for a while, but this information is just now being released. So you got to think that that means something. And what does it mean? I don't know, but I think it's a distraction. I really think they're going to tank this market. I don't know how low, how far, but I think they're going to sell it off and fool a lot of people. And again, on the weekly chart, we can easily go down to here. Of course, if we have a flash crash, then it's, you know, it's like this. But I'm not saying that's going to happen right now. That could be next week. We could just have a move down to here this week, bounce back up a little next week like we did here, and the flash crash next week. But I think a good move's coming down tomorrow and Friday, very possibly tomorrow and into Friday. And then you just have to see. But it's getting on shaky ground. The Legatus pilgrimage, or not pilgrimage, but their meeting was over on Monday the 2nd, and of course the market has been top since then. We have been selling off since Monday. You know, we basically popped up and we've been selling off ever since. So have these gangsters cashed all their checks and are you know, ready for the market to tank? Very possibly. They certainly sold off silver like unreal. I mean, it's basically crashed. Silver has really had a flash crash, and it has dropped like from 40, I don't know, what was that, 46 or 47 area all the way down to 38. I mean, that's like a flash crash in silver. They have really hit silver hard. So yes, we're due for a bounce, but understand that once this thing gets up here, gets overbought, I really do think that we are going to just curl up and then continue down to negative 10 or negative 7.5 in that range before we bottom out in this market. Now, where the actual level is going to be, I don't know. If it's a normal market, just a normal sell-off, and there's no crash, if there's just a sell-off, then it should hit this 1320 easily. If it pierces that on down to this area here with 1294. It's 1284 here, so it could stop in that area. If it's anything more than that, then we got a flash crash going on. So we had to just have to really just look at the charts and see. But so okay, everyone. So basically, you will be looking for this to get peaked out early in the morning tomorrow, within the first couple hours, and to see, and once it starts to look like it's going to roll over, I think that is going to be a big move down, a wave 3, a wave C, whatever you'll call it. And then from there we'll reassess what next week will look like. But as far as tomorrow, I see a pop and drop basically. And if next week stays this bearish, then we can just keep on dropping, and literally next week could look like this. We could have this week as this red candle, and then the flash crash next week. They could carry it on into next week. We don't know. So is it going to happen this week or next week? I don't know. So okay, gang, that is it. I will see you on the blog. Good luck, everyone.